All right, all right, all right, all right. So you guys should be able to hear me. Just gonna post this for the world to know I'm streaming. Next step to check my phone and see if I could hear myself. Make sure my audio was right.
See if I could hear myself.
Yep, that
Make sure
sounds
my
good.
audio was right. See if I could hear.
So yeah, I'm here with the Nintendo Switch 2. There it goes. Ain't that a beauty? Well, I'm gonna take it away from you because I got accessories to look at first. Okay, let's look at the accessories right quick first, and then talk about the system proper. First off, we got the Pro controller for the Switch 2. All right, I don't have to put it upside down. It's auto flipped by the camera. So there's a Switch 2 Pro controller. Let's open that. It's got some tape on the sides. Didn't know it had all this extra crap going on. Jeez, should have been better prepared. But a little screw here. That should be enough to scrape open this plastic thing. Jeez, should have been better prepared for this, huh? Use my keys, I guess. That'll do it. Fuck, I'm just gonna rip this box open. I'm getting fed up. I'm already getting fed up. I hate packaging that's annoying to open. There you go. There you go. All right. So just move my Quest controller to the side there. Here's the controller. All right, put the box to the side. It comes in a much better packaging than the DualSense controller that I bought, the black one, where the box was ripping even before I can get access to the controller itself. So it comes with a USB-C to A cable, USB-C, USB-A. It's cool. Controller itself. Now, I don't even know if this takes batteries or if it has one built in, but there's no panel for the battery, so I guess not. It's built-in batteries, bumpers on the back here. It has that rubber, you might have seen on other devices in the past, that rubber, but it's not as, it's more slick than I've seen before. But eventually that's going to get hand oil and grease and stuff and be a different type of texture, I'm pretty sure. But Nintendo logo on the back there embossed, headphone jack on the bottom, two bumpers. Up top, we got a USB-C here, sync button, either charging lights or let you know which player you have. I know what this is here. This might be microphone. And you got like the bumpers and triggers. So let's see how the bumpers are. Can you hear that? So it's, I don't know if these triggers are analog, but I could feel the buttons under them as well as the bumpers here. Analogs feel pretty good. Never played on a Pro controller before, so I couldn't really compare it. But as an Xbox gamer, here's a Elite 2 controller here. Obviously, the Elite 2 controller is heavier, and slightly bigger. But the Elite 2 was made with a lot of metal and stuff, so it was known to be made to be heavy. Right? So, also here's my Steam controller. I can compare with that if you wish. That's also bigger. But yeah. So per controller, I have a gas controller. Pretty sure it works on other things besides just the Switch 2. I don't know if it works on the Switch 1 or not, but never had a Switch 1, so I'm not really too concerned about that. Yeah, solid controller. Solid controller. So put that aside and keep the cable up here. Probably need that a little later on. Next accessory we got here. We'll look at the case afterwards because when I open up the system, I'll probably be more important. Now, I pre-ordered at GameStop. I haven't messed with GameStop in forever. I haven't been a member since even before the Xbox One. But the last system I picked up from them was the Xbox. No, it was the PS4. The spring after it was released, I just walked into GameStop, I picked one up, but I haven't been a Pro member in forever. But I did sign up for the membership when I was pre-ordering this, and I still don't have my points yet, but I should have enough to get a game and the Nintendo Online service if I wanted to. What's up, Yobi? What up, legend? Good to have you here, brother. I know it's late at night, but I mean, hey, that's when they want to release their systems to everybody. Did you get yours, or did you get one, or are you planning to? Well, what's up with yourself when it comes to that? Let me know, bro. But so GameStop has their own memory card. I thought this was going to be Nintendo branded, but it's not. It says for Nintendo Switch 2, but it's not exclusively used on Nintendo Switch. Anything that uses the SD card, okay, Xmas or next year, no rush. Yeah, there's not a lot of software, but as you know, I never had a Switch 1, so may as well have picked this up now. So a back catalog of games I could get. But see here, this memory card here. This is the new style of memory card that you need for the Switch 2. Now, the memory card is backwards compatible with older devices that don't need this newer version. The pins are still there. It has some extra pins, as I'll be showing you. You see, it's 800 megabytes per second. This one is half a terabyte, 512 gigs. But I thought this was going to be Nintendo branded or whatever. It's GameStop branded, and it really doesn't matter to me. And I'm sure, since it's a new type of memory card, SD card, that this is not a cheap version or whatever like that. But still, hey, what's up, Tank? Thanks for coming. But I really thought this was going to be Nintendo branded and maybe have Nintendo logo on the memory card or whatever. Not really that important. It's just what I thought was going to be. But so typical memory card, SD card type situation here. So yeah, it's my scissors. I usually have my scissors next to me all the time. All of a sudden, when I need them, I can't find them. But anyway, I just rip this right open. So it's all good. So I say typical memory cards, got some paperwork back here. Who cares? I wonder if this is pre-formatted to exFAT or FAT32 or whatever. No, it can't be FAT32. This is 512. Maybe it's exFAT or whatever. But if I had the time and an inclination, I would put in my SD card reader and see for myself. But I'm not really that interested. But if anybody knows, if anybody watches this in the future and knows, let me know. So yeah, typical SD card with the adapter if you have like the full size. But I just want to show you the difference. You see that extra row of pins? That's the difference maker. And that's why it's also backwards compatible with other things that use SD cards, because the original pins are there, but you see there's extra pins. I don't know how that all works out, but you can at least see the older pins are up front. So when you first plug it in, those pins will touch. And in fact, the longest ones, you see the ones that are slightly longer, little educational tip there, those are the grounding pins, and those will touch the contacts before anything else. So when you're plugging in an SD card, the grounds will touch before anything else. But the extra data pins, I'm sure if they're not connected or whatever, if you plug into a device that doesn't have it, like my ROG Ally, I don't believe supports this newer type of SD card in terms of its better performance. Those pins won't connect, and it'll just appear like a regular SD card. But I'll be putting that into the system when I unbox it. But so I'll just put that aside here for just a second. This is a used copy of Mario Maker 2. When I was waiting there at GameStop, I decided, hey, I'm gonna grab this. It was real cheap. Just doesn't have the book, but you know how it is with manuals nowadays. They usually nothing. I don't know if Nintendo sells manuals if you've lost a manual and you need a replacement or something, but if they do, I think I might purchase that. So we'll see. But this is a regular Switch game, right? So we know they work. And I actually licked this one to see if it tasted weird. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I was kind of dumb, but I've heard the rumors that Nintendo sprays their carts with something. So here's the two games I did buy, both the Zeldas. If you follow me on podcasts, I do a podcast with Technoblast and Eli the Realist and myself. We do a podcast every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hint. I've always mentioned that if I get the system, I would get both of these games because I expected that they would do updates to take advantage of the new hardware and its abilities to make these games run 60 frames, ray tracing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Since I never played these games and because I never owned the Switch 1, I decided I would get these two at launch. And so true to my word, I did. But I feel like I should open at least one to see if there's a difference in these cartridges. Now, I'm told that the first party games like the Zelda here, supposed to be the entire game is on the cartridge. You're not trying to download anything now. There's room for patches, whatever. I think the Switch games often have room for patches. Some games didn't hold the entire game, so you'd have to download the rest either to your SD card or the card. I don't know exactly how that works, but these first party games are not supposed to be like a blank cartridge without the game data. It's supposed to be the complete, at least the 1.0 version of these games on the cartridges. I don't know if they have like the Switch 2 versions, but see this card is red. Let me compare it to this one in here. These are black. I don't know if all Switch 2 cards are supposed to be red, but this is. So let's see the back here. Okay, giant pins. Let's compare it to Mario Maker 2, which is a Switch 1 game. Pins look the same. The cartridge tech may be exactly the same. I don't doubt that they probably are because the games are backwards compatible. So if you had Mario Maker 2 already, you would know, of course, this works on the Switch 2. I don't even know if they have a patch for this game for the Switch 2. But like I said, I bought this used. So we'll find out about that. But the cartridges look the same. Yeah, I'm actually going to lick this. Hold on, let me see. I actually want to see if they really did spray it with whatever. Oh, yeah. They spray these things with something after all. Jesus Christ, that tastes horrible. Yeah, that will keep little kids and babies and whatnot from licking cartridges or whatever, because they're so little that could be a choke hazard. I can see that being a problem. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, okay. Finally, as promised, what you've been waiting for. Switch 2. So, of course, I got the version with Mario Kart World bundled. I got system number 20. I live in Pennsylvania. So I was the first one in line 5 weeks ago to get my pre-order in. But when I went this afternoon to get my ticket, I was number 20. They took in 5 people at GameStop. Every group was 5 people deep. And then those of them who had their tickets from 1 to however many they had got their systems. Nintendo they basically lied to folks, bro. They were being smart about the scalpers. These shops have way more systems than they were letting on. I know, particularly for GameStop, I had heard this. If you hadn't heard, they had more systems than they were letting on. So a lot of people didn't have a pre-order or came and pre-ordered this afternoon, but didn't get a ticket because they had to see who came to pick up their pre-orders, and whatever was left, those people, they could pick up a system. And there was like 1 or 2 people were able to get a system in my line because they were there, and the people who pre-ordered before them were not. So there's a little seal right there. Just rip that off. Okay, this time it's a lot easier. That's what happens. You don't clip your nails too short. You get something to cut with. So Nintendo Switch 2. I was thinking this was gonna open up like a wow. Oh, okay. It does open up the way I thought. Are you gonna be able to see? Nope. Looks like I gotta do it this way. That's what it is. It's wrong side. Boom. I haven't had a Nintendo system since the 3DS. So left Joy-Con, right Joy-Con, blue and lighter pinkish red, I guess. I don't know to call that. But there you go. Packaged in little plastic sleeves here. So if you want to play a retro game like this, wouldn't be too comfy, I think. I barely could do that. I don't think I'll ever be taking these Joy-Cons off the system. I don't think I have any games that would really be taking advantage of that. But okay, so the mouse-esque functionality, a lot like the Lenovo Legion Go PC handheld, where the controllers were removable and it made it like some kind of like mouse. Oh, I forgot about that. That is something that's pretty easy to click on. It's not left-handed, so let me try it with the right-handed one and see how that is. This one has that as well, so it's both sides do that. So if you're left or right-handed, you could still do that mouse type of emulation. So that's the Joy-Cons. It's the system in and of itself. Little tablet-looking device, much like the old one. I don't know the size difference between the original one. Like I said, I've never owned one. But we're going to put that aside to see what else is in the box, and then we'll get back to the system proper. So, what's in here? Okay, got a code for Mario Kart. Paperwork. Plug them in, file them like Flossie Carter would say. HDMI ultra high speed cable, all with the logo, with the proper logo. So this should be a legit cable. HDMI 2.1 cable, even though the hardware doesn't seem to truly be HDMI 2.1. Yeah, it's got the cable with the logo on it. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to be using it docked, I don't think. There's also lanyards for cross between lanyards and something else. I guess when you take the controllers off and you're using like independent controllers, you put this on. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Okay, let me see what else is in here. Just put this box aside. Put that box aside. Okay, so we got a USB-C to USB-C cable here. And we got the power brick. How many watts is this? This is 5.9. Jeez, what the? 15 watts, 3 amps, 20 volts, 3 amps, 15 watts, 27 watts, 45 watts, 60 watts. Okay. So this can do up to 60 watts of power. 20 volts, 3 amps. Yeah, that would be 60 watts. So USB-C. I'm told standard USB-C chargers will work as long as the wattage is sufficient. Yeah, this is pretty dope shit. I like when they do industry standard stuff. And you should know, Yobi, because I'm always keeping you abreast of the new updates for USB-C. Yeah, truly, this is the cable, the one cable to do it all, right? Power, data, and they continually evolve the standard, but the connector has remained the same. So love to see that. You know, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. What else we got in here that's of note? Oh, right. Just slip the Joy-Cons in here for this and make it a proper controller. Are there pins in there for no? This just, I guess the Joy-Cons just slide in. Oh, well, that's right. They're magnetic. You don't even have to slide them in. They just, boom, there you go. That feels pretty good. I think I like the feeling of the Pro Controller more. This feels more cramped in. Not really liking that, actually. But then I don't think I'll really be using my system in a dock. I think I'm mainly going to use it as a handheld. So this thing here I probably won't be using too often, especially since I have a Pro Controller anyway, and I don't like the way it feels. So there is that. What's this? What is, oh, right, of course, the dock. So here's the dock. Was there anything else in the box of note? No. So let me put the box away and we can take a closer look at this dock. Okay. So that's the dock. Ventilation in there is nice. What's up, Breezy? Thanks for coming through. It's like plastic on this side that's kind of smooth, as well as this side. Very glossy on the inside. Like I could tell it's very glossy on each side. You can see on this side in here, and that side there. I don't know if I'm catching the angle right. You might see a bit of a reflection right there. It is glossy on the insides there. And I see USB connector down in there. What else of note that we should take a look at? Is there anything that slides out or anything? Where's the Ethernet and other things plug in? There's 2 USBs on the side here, full-size USBs. That's probably how you plug the charger in, I guess. There's also back here, it says HDMI. Am I supposed to pull this off to get the HDMI? Like, how do you access the, oh, this whole thing comes off. Okay. There's USB-C and the HDMI connector. and the Ethernet. I always say, if you have a device that's not a mobile device that you never move, like your console or your PC, a desktop PC, not a laptop, type of device that's not mobile, always plug it in. Stop depending on Wi-Fi for everything, particularly for devices that you never move, like your TV, consoles, and stuff. Just plug them in. So that was one issue with the original dock, that it didn't have Ethernet. You're jealous of my dock. Yeah, man. Switch One owners, I think, might be real jealous about that it was never in there officially. It always should have been. But there are many great third-party ones that do provide that functionality. I have a friend of mine, shout out to my boy Wetworks. He dropped his Switch and it broke the Wi-Fi functionality of his. So I was able to find him a dock that had Ethernet and he was able to use it. I gotta say, Breezy, I think you're right. This literally is the best dock I've ever seen. The docks that I've gotten from my Steam Deck, my ROG Ally, I don't think they really compare to this in terms of just the way it looks and the ergonomics. Not so much in functionality. They all work great. I'm sure this works great as well. And if you were able to get access to that port there for other devices, I'm sure those devices work well with this. I don't think Nintendo is gonna block it from working with other devices, but why would you use it for that? But also, this is kind of heavy too, so there should be fans in here. You can see there's ventilation here, ventilation down there, there's ventilation all in here. You can see the parts inside. You can see some of the parts inside here. USB on that side. Is there anything else I'm missing? I didn't do a whole lot of homework on this. You sleepy AF? Yeah, man, it is 1 o'clock already. It's past 1 a.m. here. It's 1:18 already. So yeah, so there's the dock. Is the back panel for the dock. Why would you use this panel? Wouldn't it be blocking the ventilation here? Because look, there's vent for the bottom. There's not for the top. I'm not really sure I understand. And how do I even snap this back on? I don't want to. Okay. Yeah, when I was seeing the Switch 2, that's why I said I kind of want to Switch 2. Like, if anybody knows, man, listen, I grew up with Nintendo. I'm from that Nintendo generation. Oh, by the way, there's a indicator light right there. I was that Nintendo generation. I had my NES in 1988. Really started my love affair with video games at that point. But Nintendo stopped really focusing on my age bracket, beginning with the N64. They started to go younger and younger, and less and less often they would focus on my age group. So just found out that GoldenEye 7 is free on Xbox because you got Rare. Yes, yeah, they gave that away, and Rare Replay they gave away all the time. If you remember Mixer, oftentimes you just watch certain events and you would be able to get Rare Replay for free. So yeah, bro. So okay, this is. I'm just realizing I don't have a screen protector unless it's in the case. They don't have a screen protector. So I'm going to have to do something about that because I already have 2 fingerprints there. You saw when I was taking out the bag that I touched this side. I'm sure somebody's going to watch this video in the future and say, what's up, folks? And say, you're putting a fingerprint on it. Don't you see what you're doing? No, I didn't see that. I didn't see how when I was doing that. But anyway, so this is Switch 2. Nice screen. I could already see the bezels aren't. I don't know if I reflected the right way. Will you be able to see the bezels? Oh, there you go, right there. Just a larger screen than the original Switch. And I was at the GameStop. They had the Switch, the OLED, and the light there, and I could see the bezels and how big the bezels were for the original Switch. The OLED, the bezels aren't that much better, ironically, from the display unit, although those screens weren't on. Don't touch it. Don't even use it. Put it back in the box. Listen, man, I already touched the screen. Look, there's fingerprints right there already from when I was unpacking. I'm sure somebody, like I was saying, watch this video in the future and be like, you screwed up already touching the screen. And unless the case here has a screen protector in it, I'm already screwed. You can see my Insta Link 2 camera there, focusing on my desktop. But yeah, so look, it just slides right in. Boom. Okay, and it's like I like the way it slides in with the connector there, and there's like a bit of you could feel the grip when the connector connects. Is that USB-C on the bottom? Yeah, that's USB-C. But there's speaker vents. There's this hinge reminds me of the Surface. I used to have a Surface Pro 3. This is, yeah, infinite. You can put it at any angle you want. Hey, folks. Right? Got a power button, volume rocker, another USB-C. This is the game card port right up there. That's probably a hole for a microphone. Vents. And on the bottom here, you got 2 more vents. And the USB-C, that's for the dock. And I don't know what these 2 little spots there are. Do they match? Yeah, they correspond with 2 inside the dock there. You see on each side of the USB-C. I guess that's that thing that I feel there, that little grippiness at the end. $400 wasted? No, dude, close to 1,000 wasted. 900 and something or other. Almost a stack, bro. Almost a stack. So where's my Joy-Cons? Oh, right. I'm hoping that how do you, aren't these just like magnetic now? How do you take off Switch Joy-Cons without breaking them? Switch 2 Joy-Cons without breaking them off the thing. Why is it I feel like a 10-year-old or 8-year-old version of me would be so disappointed that I don't know how to. Oh, okay. You got to press the button back here. So, okay. So these 2 buttons are usually probably only used for like when you're emulating like the mouse functionality, like I was saying before, but it's also how you unlock the lock to take off the Joy-Con. So it's not just magnetic. It's partially magnetic, but it's not just that. So that's cool to see. I'll probably never use this again. So I'll go over here. This is, oh, and it says embossed. Sorry. Nintendo Switch 2. Is it? Yeah. That's really nice. It's black, but and you can't really see it because of the noise from my camera. There's a little bit of sparkliness on the texture. Very subtle. Very subtle. So, Joy-Con on that side. Joy-Con on that side. Now then, the battery is probably got a charge to it, and probably I could turn it on, but if it probably won't turn on until you plug in something into the outlet the first time. But oh no, it works. There you go. First boot. You can see the bezels now a lot more clearly. And there you go. Asking me where I'm from, all of that. But before all of that, let's look at the last thing first that I should have looked at all along. So I'll put the Switch right here in the dock. Okay. Am I just going to get used to doing that? Like, yeah, I'm going to feel pretty confident with that. Yeah. Once you get used to it, it's pretty good. Okay. So let's look at this last thing that I should have looked at after all, instead of holding it for the end. That's the case. But the reason I held it off was I wanted to rip this thing off. Hulk this off. Who cares? Rah! Like Flossie would have said. Nice little case. I forget how much I spent for this, like $20. When I went there to get my tag on my ticket, they were like, oh, they had one left. So I said, screw it. I gave into FOMO and I bought the case when I wasn't intending to. Okay, so GameStop stickers. Yeah, whatever. Look, it's got a little, first of all, it's got a little zippered area to put game cards and accessories or whatever, I guess. Then it's got, what is this? It's like a felt material here, this strip here, but then there's this. This is completely a felt material, so I guess that's to protect the screen when it's in the case. So put it in like that. Take that out the way. You can see. Show you again. It fits very nicely. It fits in very nicely. But I see there's this. Am I supposed to take this out? This is Velcroed in there. I don't know if I'm supposed to have taken that out or not. But yeah, I should have, because it gives me room for the. And this actually should be down, because in case you don't know, that's what this is for. You just lift that up and you can lift the system out. So the felt material will protect the screen when it's down. And then you have the zippered area to put your carts in and stuff. But these two little things here, this has Velcro on this side. So I don't know if I'm supposed to hang on to this or if that was just for the packaging, because this is pretty hard. I don't think it was really protecting the case from anything, but I'm going to hang on to these until I know better. So there's the case. There's the case. I'm sure it'll protect it from like some weather and rain. I wouldn't want to get this doused in water, but if it was raining and I had this in here and I had to run from point A and point B, I'm pretty sure if I took out my switch, like if I was running out in the rain for like 2 or 3 minutes from point A to point B and I came inside to point B, I'm sure if I took this out, it'd be nice and dry, even in the rain. So yeah, that's pretty good, man. Listen, I've only done 2 of these unboxings before in my life. First was the Steam Deck, if y'all remember, about 3+ years ago now. And now I'm doing a Switch 2. So hopefully this is entertaining enough for y'all to get some info on what's going down. But yeah, so that's it. Switch 2 unboxing. One last thing I want to do before I finish off is, let's see here, the game slot here for the carts. Okay. I was gonna, well, who knows what kind of updates and software stuff I got to do. So putting a cartridge in here and showing you that it fits really doesn't mean much. But if there's anything that I feel I should show you guys in the future, I'll do another video. It won't be live this time. I'll pre-record it, kind of snazz it up with some editing, maybe cut out some and stuttering and all types of weird stuff I be doing. But we'll see. But just last feeling of the system, it has a good bit of weight to it. I have my ROG Ally here. Where is it? Because I brought it with me to GameStop to play some games. So let's give that a bit of a comparison size-wise. See what's up. So clearly the Switch 2 is much flatter, right? Compared to ROG Ally. Much flatter. But when it comes to weight, at first I was going to say, you see how smudgy this is? I don't even have a screen protector in this thing. But I do have the case I rarely use. But you would think, yeah, the ROG Ally would be heavier. I don't know the exact weights, but I'm holding them in my hands right now, and they feel about the same. It's funny too. The PS2 and the original Xbox, a lot of people think the Xbox was a big heavy thing and the PS2 wasn't. But if you get the official hard drive and network adapter for the PS2 and you put those on, which would make it more equivalent in terms of what the hardware actually has feature-wise, you'll find the PS2 feels a little heavier. But here, between the both of these, even though this is a flatter device, they feel about the same now. The weight difference, can't really say one is heavier than the other. I'm sure one is slightly heavier, and that's probably the ROG Ally still now I'm thinking about it. The weight difference isn't really... Now, the ROG Ally is a comfortable device to hold. And once you grab it, it feels pretty good in the hands, and you can evenly... or the weight is evenly distributed. But with the Switch 2 here, let's see. How does it feel? It feels good, but it also feels like a little flat. And I've never liked the little tiny analogs on the Switch 2 ever since using these. And I don't even know if they've improved these analogs, you know, to help with the drifting. Because while all controllers with analogs suffer from stick drift, Nintendo's was clearly the worst at that. So there's that. So, but anyway, that's all I wanted to show you guys. Just wanted to do a quick unboxing and show you what things are like. Thanks for having a look with me. Peace.